Hello Team Liquid, I'm Cube again, and this is going to be a video on disassembling your Rubik's Cube and putting it back together. Why would you want to disassemble your Rubik's Cube? Well, taking the cube apart and actually looking at the pieces and figuring out how it works will make it a lot easier to solve, because you'll start to think of it as pieces rather than stickers. Also, it helps to stretch the springs in the middle, and you will have to take your cube apart if you want to lubricate it to speed solve the cube very fast. With that said, to start taking your cube apart, you want to turn one of the faces, it doesn't matter which one, about 45 degrees, like, that's more, like that, and then pop one of the edges out. It might take quite a bit of force if this is the first time your cube is being disassembled, so you can use something like, I think nail clippers work well to just pop that out. After that, you take the corners out, they just sort of fall out. And then take the other two edges on the face you started without. Now you've got the rest of the cube comes apart pretty easily if you just start twisting and things fall out. And now that we've taken the cube apart, we're left with the core and the 20 pieces. Now there are two types of pieces: the 8 corner pieces, which have 3 stickers on them, and the 12 edge pieces, which have 2. It's important that you think of the cube in terms of these pieces and the core instead of in terms of stickers, because it'll make it a lot easier to solve if you're just thinking of it that way. Now, the core, well, as you can see, it has the 6 little spinny things that help keep everything in place and allow you to rotate the faces, and these are actually, the black parts consist of 2 parts. There's the black part underneath that connects it to the actual core, and then there's a cap, and if you took the cap off you'd find a screw and a spring. Now, that's just to make it so that the sides of the cube have a little bit of give either way, and you can, well, if it only had a screw it would be stuck in exactly the same place, and it wouldn't be very fun to solve. So that's what the spring is for. But if you've purchased a brand new cube, your springs are going to be pretty tight, so what we're going to do is you're going to take 2 opposing sides and just pull on them, maybe turn them a bit, just to stretch those springs. And you're going to want to do this for about a minute. After you're done that, you're going to do the other sides. This will just help your cube be easier to turn, and you can probably solve it faster. You're going to do this for longer than I am, of course, because this is a video and it has to be fast. Now that you've done that, the hardest part is probably putting your cube back together, so pay attention. To start, I'm going to take one of the edge pieces and choose a side as the bottom. I'm going to choose the yellow side, so the yellow side will go on the table when I'm doing this. So I'm going to take the green and yellow edge, turn the yellow one 45 degrees, put the green and yellow edge there in the correct position and everything, and then just rotate it 45 degrees again, and then it'll stay there. I think it is important that you assemble the cube in the correct position, because if you don't assemble it so when you're done it's solved, then you'll have 11 of 12 times you'll have one of the pieces oriented wrong. And that's bad, because if you're not really good at solving the cube, it can be very frustrating, because you can't solve the cube when one of the pieces is oriented wrong, and none of the following tutorial will make any sense. So make sure you reassemble it in the correct position. Now next we're going to do the same thing for the rest of the edges on the bottom, so in this case all the ones with yellow. So yellow and blue, we rotate the blue side 45 degrees, put the blue edge in, and turn it back. Yellow and red, same thing. Might have to rotate the red side more than 45 degrees so you don't have to pop anything in, but but same idea. And then the last yellow edge, where is it? Yeah, the yellow and orange edge. Same thing again, rotate it, pop the edge in, and then rotate it back. And then you should have, well, this. You want to place that cross down on the table, and then slot all the corners with your bottom color, again in this case yellow, on them. So here I have the yellow, red and green corner. Going to put that in, well, the yellow, red, and green. So the green is with the green, the red is with the red, and the yellow is with the yellow, of course. And we're going to do that for the rest of the corners. What we're going to do next is put in these 4 edges, there, and there, so the middle edges. So for the green and red one, red and green, you just want to turn the cube sideways and hold it with your hands so the bottom side, well, the corners on the bottom don't fall out. Then you're going to turn the entire green face, or whichever face is on top, about 45 degrees again, so that you can, or 45 degrees the wrong way, sorry, so that you can pop the red and green edge in, or just slide it in there, and then you're going to rotate it back. And now the edge is in there. And then you're going to do the same thing for the one on the opposite side, in this case the orange and green edge. You're going to rotate it about 45 degrees, put the edge in, and rotate it back. And now you have a pretty solid block, so you don't have to worry about that falling apart by itself. You're going to do the same thing with the other side, so in this case the blue side. Rotate it, put in an edge, and then rotate it back. And again, rotate it, put in the edge, and then rotate it back. And to do the last layer, assemble the final layer of the cube, you do it pretty much in the same order you took it apart, only with no pieces there. You're putting them in instead of taking them out. So you're going to rotate the little top thing 45 degrees, pop one of the edges in, then you're going to pop the opposing edge in, so if you did the orange and white one, you'll do the red and white one. And now you're left with this. And what you're going to want to do next is to put all 4 corners in where they belong, in the correct orientation. So the cube will be solved when you're done. And once you've done that, you're going to rotate the top 45 degrees again and put the 2 remaining edges in. Don't be afraid to apply a significant amount of force, because it does take a lot sometimes, and it's very hard to break your cube. And there you go. The cube is now assembled and ready to be solved. So I hope this video helped if you were wanting to lubricate the cube and just learn more about how it worked, or even stretch the springs. Enjoy the rest of the guide.